What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. And the winner of the poll for this video is Sematary with Rainbow Bridge 3. So I'd actually heard of Sematary before. How did I hear of him? Well, of all the people in the world, Anthony Fantano sent him to me. I don't remember how he found him, but I definitely remember he sent me a message on IG telling me to check him out. And I can't remember if he had mentioned the connection to black metal or if I just learned that on my own. And I'm sure I listened to a song back then, but I can't remember what I thought of it. Then coincidentally, I heard about him again a few months later in reference to an online disagreement with an account that I follow that creates a lot of art for black metal projects. I won't get into that because it's none of my business. But other than that, the only thing I knew about him was what I saw on his Instagram page, which is that he really likes True Religion jeans. And I don't know if he actually likes black metal, but he definitely likes the black metal aesthetic. So the True Religion jeans, the black metal font shirts, mixed with the pictures of him with upside down crosses and box cutters. I just couldn't tell what this dude's angle was, but my first impression was that it was some kind of meme, and I didn't look too much further into it after that. But for some reason, this whole time, I had it in my head that this was a dude rapping over black metal. I'm not sure if I actually heard a song where he was doing that or if I just made all that up. But either way, I can't stand the idea of black metal mixing with hip hop. I can't quite put my finger on exactly why, but it fucking irks me, man. I feel like these two genres could not be more different, you know, sonically, thematically, aesthetically, and the subcultures themselves really don't have any intersection, and the forced mixing of the two just comes off really, really corny to me. Like, I don't even like when rappers kind of talk about black metal in their lyrics. Honestly, I'm not sure why. I'm just a fucking weirdo. So walking into this, that's kind of what I was expecting, a dude rapping over black metal. So the project starts with God's light burns upon my flesh, and at first I thought I was gonna get some black metal hip hop, till we got to the drop. The DJ Sorrow, turn the fuck up. Then it just turned into a big noisy mess. A lot of really distorted bass. Like, it's an interesting backdrop for rap, but it wasn't something that I'd go for, and I don't like the vocals much, like especially on that hook. The rapping sounds very uninteresting to me, and it sounds uninterested. You know, he kind of just raps along in a very monotone manner, and it doesn't really complement the instrumental to me much. And reading along to the lyrics, I wasn't pulling anything from there either. Cutter in my right hand, smoke in my left hand. Rocks on my damn feet, my face rock a skin mask. Drag him through the woods, got your hoe on a pentagram. Grave man drag you down on the Rainbow Bridge. But I'm not sure if this is tongue-in-cheek or if we really think that this comes off spooky, and it doesn't really matter, honestly. But I was actually kind of glad to see it wasn't someone rapping over black metal. It was more of a Death Grips kind of vibe to it, just noisy, almost industrial backdrops with him rapping on top, but kind of buried at the same time, which I would prefer all day over some turd rapping over tremolo guitars. Then the next song hit, and for a hot second, I was like, fuck me, because Murder Ride starts with some tremolo guitars, and I was very fearful that I was about to get some bullshit black metal rap. But once the beat comes fully in, it's more of what we got on the first song, more distorted bass and drowned out instruments, which I guess that's why people kind of relate this to black metal, the very raw aesthetic, which could be cool in a way. I just don't think that this particular way of doing it really appeals to me. But the opening lines actually kind of cracked me up. I live, I die, I live again. I'm coming with my army of skeletons. Bullhorns going hard, fuck this damned earth. He tried me, Cutter, got him going. Ah! Chainsaw Party honestly was much better. It still has that dirty distorted bass, but I like the instrumental more here. I can actually make out what certain individual elements are doing on this song more than others, but I'm still just not into the rapping at all. But I can't lie, I kind of dug the hook. Chainsaw party, I don't give a fuck, it's a chainsaw party. And it works really well because it has this silly, almost 8-bit sound going on in the background. So I don't know, it just worked. I'm gonna talk about Necromancer. Not because I liked it, but because these lines crack me up. Rockin' big boy britches, I got big boy lungs. I'm a thug crucifix with a Necronomicon. My best friend, my cutter, he gon' chop your face off. Fuck your girlfriend's throat, I don't give her no love. And the hook, come on man, the hook was pretty fucking infectious, man. I can see myself singing that shit in my head quite a bit. Necromancer. Prior to Tooth Taker, I was starting to feel like all of the songs sound pretty much the same. There's really not any variation here. It's all just loud, distorted bass and some indecipherable sounds buried up under it. And his rapping was the exact same on every song. So the project is fairly one-dimensional. Now, being one-dimensional isn't always a detrimental thing. Like, I don't necessarily look for a ton of variation when I look for black metal projects or noise projects. But with hip hop, honestly, I'll get pretty bored pretty quickly if I'm dealing with an album that's very samey throughout. And this one is. But Tooth Taker did sound a little bit different. You know, it was more droning. It wasn't quite as noisy. The production was a little bit easier to decipher. There's nothing crazy going on with it, but it was sufficient for the feel of the song. And I like the clean, almost out-of-tune guitar snippet at the beginning and the end of the song. I wish they'd done more with that part throughout the song. Like maybe make that part a bit more prominent in the beat. It would have kept me a little bit more interested. But I actually liked this one way more than the other songs. And I also saw that it's from an older project. So I don't know, maybe I would like some of his older stuff. Skin Carver was a bit different as well. Again, the beat was a bit more droning, and I think the layers in the beat were a bit more interesting than on the other songs. It's not just noisy and indecipherable. There's what almost sounds like this angelic sample that's buried in the noise, and it actually sounds really dope. Like, this one sounds like it could almost be spooky or creepy. And even though I'm not a fan of the way he raps at all, I think the vocals actually work on this song. But other than those two songs, this album is really all hitting on one note, and it was a bit exhausting to listen to. There's also a couple features on the project. There's Buckshot and Ghost Mountain, but I honestly think they sound just like Sematary for the most part, so there really wasn't much to pull from them. But in the end, I feel like this is more akin to a rapper who likes harsh noise than it is black metal. I wouldn't hear this and be like, oh, this is some black metal dude. I think it was more so someone who was into Merzbow or Grey Wolves. You know, like, this doesn't sound like some raw black metal kid trying his hand at rap. It sounds more like William Bennett from White House decided to make a jokey meme rap album. But those DJ Sorrow tags are fucking class. But all in all, do I like this? No, not at all. It's not my thing even remotely. But am I glad it exists? The answer is yes, and I want to explain. Even though I don't like certain music, that doesn't mean I don't think it should have ever been created. The fact that someone's creating music that I don't like at all within a genre that I love is actually really cool to me. It hopefully means that this genre is gonna carry on long after I'm dead. Now that doesn't mean that I think that way about everything that I don't like. I've definitely heard some garbage music that I can't see being beneficial to anyone, but for this Sematary guy, it seems like him and his friends are making music for other people like them. Sort of like what ICP does, because, you know, I mean, this could easily appeal to dudes who love Juggalo music. But these guys don't seem like they're bothering anyone with this kind of music, except for the imaginary people that Sematary is chopping up with his industrial strength box cutter. I'm not getting a weird feeling of appropriation or disrespect, unless I mentally put what he's doing into the mockery category, which if someone else came to that conclusion, I don't think I'd care to argue with them. But I don't know enough about him from what I've seen on Instagram nor from this album to make that kind of claim, so I'm not going to. So my thing is, if he's just making music that he thinks is fun, who am I to shit on it and tell people not to support it? Because look, you know, I think creating music that sounds unique within musical genres is not only really cool, I think it's extremely important. You know, it keeps the genre alive, it keeps the scene alive. So the fact that this is almost a new subgenre within a subgenre of a subgenre, I like it, man. I like the idea of it because I've heard plenty of shitty fucking trap albums or boom bap albums or experimental rap albums that add absolutely nothing to the genre or the scene or to the world of hip hop in general. So even if I like those subgenres more than I like this one, I'm not gonna congratulate someone for staying within a box and creating bullshit more than I would someone stepping outside of that box and creating some shit that I don't like. So, my stance on this is, if this is your kind of thing, then carry on, young man, carry on. But for me, I am all the way good on this. But I wish this guy the best. I think what he's doing is fucking cool and interesting, and yeah, more power to him. So that's gonna do it for this edition of Out of My Element. If you wanna be someone that can pick albums and put them on the polls, you can actually become a patron for $1 a month. The link is down there. Also, what's down there is a link to the next poll for you guys to vote on for the next video. And I promise I'm gonna get these videos out faster than I have been. But there you go. And as always, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out.